Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is kicking off his presidential campaign in Iowa tonight.
He's making a two-day trip to the Hawkeye State, starting in a megachurch in Des Moines. He also plans to make stops in the early primary states of New Hampshire and South Carolina. The trip comes after his presidential announcement on Twitter Spaces last week, which was delayed by some technical issues.
CBS News political director Finn Gomez joins us now. It's great to see you, Finn. So what do we expect DeSantis to focus on tonight? What are those issues?
Well, I think it's really significant that his first big trip, if you will, the event that kicks off his 2024 campaign will be in Iowa. Yet, even though he is behind former President Trump in national polling, in the early state polling, he has made some significant inroads with evangelical voters and with his grassroots operations in the Hawkeye State. And I think Ron DeSantis is now, trying to contrast himself with Trump, especially in this early stage of the cycle. So I think what you're going to see is maybe some more tweaking of the former president by the Florida governor. He's hit him on entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, and on coming from the left, he has said, on issues like entitlements, on issues like abortion. And I think you're going to see more of Ron DeSantis really contrasting himself in the next few days in these early states, especially versus former President Donald Trump.
You know, Finn, that's really interesting because he had been so hesitant, it seemed like, in doing so, really trying to court the MAGA base that the former president had. But now, as you say, he is on the offensive. Tell us about how that's playing out among voters and how tensions seem to be rising between these two front runners.
That's a great question, Lana, because for the most part, DeSantis, for the last several months, has had this strategy that was told to me by advisors close to DeSantis and from that DeSantis world, where he was looking to be Trump light, if you will, Trump without the baggage, to have the same policies, but not have these looming investigations and others that the former president does have in his quest to recapture the White House. But with DeSantis, especially, I think he is doing that in essence to contrast himself, to really portray himself as a viable option, especially here in Iowa today, where the evangelical vote is significant. You've seen some other evangelical leaders. You see some evangelical leaders in the Hawkeye State who have recently come out in support of the Florida governor, including Bob Vanderfrance of the family leader that's based there in Iowa. But also, Ron DeSantis is kicking off his rally. Where, Lana and Lilia? He's kicking it off in Clive, Iowa, at a megachurch, at Eternity Church. And there's no coincidence as to why he's doing that, because he is trying to appeal to the evangelical voter. And by being more vociferous and more emphatic on what he stands, he's hoping to get to generate some attention from that specific
That's
vote.
really interesting, because in losing Pence from his ticket, he has lost, I think, in some ways, a lot of that support.
But, you know, it's interesting because he's still making a point without making a direct point. I mean, it's like when we heard him say, well, I don't know anything about what it's like to pay off, an adult actor or things like that. But while not hitting Trump straight in the face, it seems like he's being a little bit more aggressive. But let's talk about former President Donald Trump.
Lilia, that's a great point. I just got to bring that up again because the other criticism, if you look at DeSantis's tactics, the strategy was to I will be above this sort of criticism, and instead it's allowed this attack from Trump on his right flank, and he's decreased his stature really, and you've seen that widening margin in those polls, national and early state. So will this have an effect? Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, and so I'm curious about that. How voters are actually responding in Iowa, because what we've seen from Trump is memes, aggressive comments, mockery, name calling, which is obviously has been part of his method. But it seems like it's easier for DeSantis. I mean, it's easier for Trump because DeSantis has to still kind of court that MAGA base, as you said, while Trump can just go, all out and say, move aside. How are people actually responding in Iowa?
Well, I've been in Iowa just a couple times in this year to talk to Iowa caucus goers, and I think for the most part, that tactic that Trump has to be aggressive, to go after that, it does work well with the MAGA base. It does work well with your typical Republican primary voter. But in Iowa, it's a little bit different. That caucus goer, it's really important, not just that first choice they have, but also the second choice. And a lot of people's second choice is DeSantis. So it's a very unique setting, Lilia. And I think that that sort of tactic that Trump is doing, that being the aggressor, if you will, has the potential to backfire, especially with that evangelical vote. They're a little bit, if you will, collectively a little bit nicer of a group. And of course, like as you mentioned, Pence, that's another potential contender who's eyeing a 2024 bid, entry into the 2024 ring. So we're keeping an eye on that. But again, in Iowa, it's about the evangelical voter, and all these moves, all this activity from this week in the Hawkeye State primarily is focused on them.
Really interesting. All right, Finn Gomez, thank you.